Now, let me tell you a thing or two about the Banshee. You might have heard whispers of her, this spirit woman from the other world, but the truth of her is something else entirely. She's not some Hollywood invention, not at all. She is as real to the people of this island as the stones in the fields. The name itself, Beanside, means woman of the fairy mounds. She's a messenger, you see, a link between our world and that other place, the one that runs alongside our own, unseen by most. She is a solitary figure, deeply connected to the land and to the very soul of Ireland itself, a part of the ancient magic that still lingers in the quiet places. Her appearance, well, that's a tricky thing. She can show herself in different forms, and what one person sees another might not. Sometimes she's a beautiful young woman with long, flowing hair, maybe silver or pure white, that she combs with a silver comb. Her eyes are often said to be red from centuries of weeping for the dying. Other times she might appear as a stooped old woman, a haggard crone wrapped in a grey or white cloak, her face a mask of terrible grief. The form she takes isn't the important part, mind you. It's her presence you feel, a sudden coldness in the air, a sense of dread that settles deep in your bones. The stories say she can be seen down by the rivers and the streams, washing the blood-stained clothes of the one who is about to die. This is the Bean Nye, the washing woman, a terrifying sight for any poor soul to stumble upon in the dead of night. Imagine walking home along a quiet laneway and seeing her there, her thin arms working at the cloth in the dark water. You wouldn't want to disturb her. You wouldn't want to ask whose clothes she's washing. To see her at all is a bad sign, a terrible omen that death is coming to knock on someone's door very, very soon. It's said that if you see her comb lying on the ground, you should never, ever pick it up. That comb belongs to her, and she doesn't take kindly to thieves. People say she'll come looking for it, and you don't want the Banshee coming to your house for any reason at all. She is a powerful being, not to be trifled with. She's a spirit tied to a world with different rules, a world that existed long before our churches and our towns. She is a reminder that we are not the only ones walking this land, not by a long shot. She is a part of the old ways, the old beliefs. The thing everyone knows about the Banshee, the thing that puts the fear of God into you, is her cry. It's not a sound you can easily describe. It's a wail, a shriek, a lament that cuts through the silence of the night like a sharp knife. It can start as a low sobbing and rise to a piercing scream that would freeze the blood in your veins. It isn't a human sound, and it isn't the sound of any animal you'd know. It's a sound of pure, undiluted sorrow, a sound that carries all the grief of the world in it. People who have heard it say it's unforgettable, a noise that haunts you for the rest of your days. This cry, this keening, is her sole purpose. She is a harbinger of death, a foreteller of doom. When the Banshee wails, it means a member of one of the ancient Irish families is about to pass from this world. She doesn't cause the death, mind you. She has no hand in it. She is simply the messenger, the one who announces that a soul is preparing for its final journey. Her cry is a warning, a spiritual alarm bell ringing out across the countryside. It gives the family time to prepare, to gather their loved ones, and to say their last goodbyes before death arrives to claim its own. The wail is often heard drifting on the wind around the family home of the person who is soon to die. It might be heard for a few nights in a row, growing louder and more desperate as the moment of death approaches. Sometimes only the person destined to hear it can. Other times the whole household is woken by the terrible sound, huddling together in fear, knowing what it means. They know there's nothing to be done but wait. The Banshee's cry is a prophecy that cannot be undone, a final notice that has been delivered by a supernatural postman. It's a terrifying thing to hear, there's no doubt about it. Imagine lying in your bed, in the quiet dark, and hearing that unearthly scream just outside your window. It's a sound that tells you your world is about to change forever. It tells you that a space is about to be left empty at your table, a voice silenced. The fear comes not just from the sound itself, but from the terrible certainty it brings. The Banshee's cry is the sound of impending loss, a lament for a life that is about to end, and it leaves an emptiness that no amount of time can ever truly fill. Now, you have to understand, the Banshee doesn't cry for just anyone. She is very particular. Her lament is reserved for the members of the old Irish families, the ones with the O and the Mac in their names. The O'Neills, the O'Briens, the O'Connors, the McCarthys, the Kavanaghs, these are the clans she follows. The belief is that each of these ancient families has its own Banshee, a spirit woman who has watched over them for centuries, through triumph and through tragedy. She is a part of their heritage, a spectral guardian who announces the passing of their kin. There are countless stories from all over the country. A famous one is about the O'Briens, the descendants of the great High King Brian Boru. It is said that their Banshee, named Éire, lives in a place called Craiglyeth in County Clare. Before any O'Brien of noble blood is to die, her wail is heard echoing from the rocks. The same goes for the O'Neills of Ulster. Theirs was said to cry out from the shores of Lough Neagh. These stories have been passed down through generations, told around the fireside, becoming a part of the family's history, a supernatural thread woven into their very identity. Think of the king of the fairies who in the year 1014 was said to have appeared to Brian Boru before the Battle of Clontarf. The king saw a washerwoman at the ford, washing a pile of bloody armour. It was the Banshee, foretelling his death in the coming battle. Even the great High King was not exempt from her warning. These stories show how deeply the belief is rooted in our history. The Banshee is not just a ghost, she is a figure connected to the aristocracy of ancient Gaelic Ireland, a remnant of a time when the lines between this world and the other world were much thinner than they are today. Even as Irish families emigrated, taking their names and their histories to far-flung corners of the world, the stories say the Banshee followed them. There are tales from America, from Australia, of people with Irish roots who heard the unearthly cry just before a relative passed away back in the old country. It shows the strength of the connection, a bond that not even thousands of miles of ocean can break. She is tied to the bloodline, not the land. She is a testament to the enduring power of family and heritage, a ghostly reminder of where you come from. So why are people so afraid of her? It's simple, really. She represents something we all fear, the finality of death and the sorrow of loss. She is the embodiment of grief. When you see a loved one suffering, you feel a deep pain in your heart. The Banshee is that pain given a voice and a form, a supernatural expression of the deepest sorrow a human can feel. Her wail is the sound of a heart breaking. To hear her is to be confronted with the raw, unavoidable reality that someone you love is about to be taken from you forever. That's a terrifying truth for anyone to face. In Irish culture, the Banshee holds a very important place. She is far more than just a spooky ghost story told to frighten children on a dark night. She is a powerful symbol of our connection to our past and to the other crowd, as we call the fairies. She represents the enduring strength of the family bond and the importance of heritage. In a country that has seen so much sorrow, so much loss through famine and emigration, the Banshee is a figure that makes a strange kind of sense. She is a supernatural keener, performing the same ritual lament that mortal women once did at wakes and funerals. She reminds us that there are forces in this world that are older and more powerful than we are. In an age of science and technology where we think we have an answer for everything, the Banshee is a mystery. She cannot be explained away by logic. She exists in the realm of belief, of folklore, of the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the world and the great mysteries of life and death. She is a piece of living folklore, a part of the spiritual landscape of Ireland. Her story has survived for centuries because it speaks to a deep truth about our culture. And that is why we still talk about her today. The world has changed, but the fundamental human experiences of love, loss, and grief have not. The Banshee gives a voice to that grief. She ensures that no one of the old families dies unlamented. Her cry is a mark of respect, a final sorrowful tribute from the other world. She is a terrifying, sorrowful, and strangely comforting figure all at once. The Banshee is woven into the fabric of Ireland, and as long as there are Irish families to mourn, her lonely cry will continue to echo in the quiet places of the night.